Hi everyone. So the question was how to find asymptotes. Now there are three types of asymptotes: horizontal asymptotes, vertical asymptotes, and a slant asymptotes. So let's have a look at horizontal asymptotes. So there are three more kinds of horizontal asymptotes, three ways. So if you need to see the function, if the both the polynomials have the same degrees, right? The highest degree of x in the numerator is 2 and here it's 2. So if they are same, then you need to divide the coefficients of the highest degree. So here the coefficient of highest degree is 6 and coefficient of highest degree in denominator is 2. So you need to divide 6 by 2. So your horizontal asymptote is y equal to 6 over 2, that is 3. Then there would be some function in which the highest degree of the numerator would be less than highest degree of the denominator, like here it's 2 and here it's 3. So in these cases y equal to 0 is the asymptote by default. So if there is some other equation like 7x squared plus 3x plus 10, and in the denominator it would be 4x to the power of 4 plus x cubed plus x squared plus x plus 1, then by default y equal to 0 is the asymptote. Then the third type is if the polynomial in numerator has a higher degree than denominator. So in numerator the degree is 3, here the denominator the degree is 2, then there would be no asymptote. So if the degrees are same, divide coefficient of numerator by denominator. If the degree of numerator is less than degree of denominator, y equal to 0 is asymptote. If the degree of numerator is more than degree of denominator, there is no horizontal asymptote. Now let's have a look at a vertical asymptotes. So to find vertical asymptote, just equate the denominator to 0. So an example is fx is 3x minus 1 over x plus y. Equate this denominator to 0 and x equal to minus 5 would be a vertical asymptote. That's it. Then there is a third type, there is a slant asymptote. So in this there are two cases. So if the degree of polynomial in numerator is less than denominator, then there is no asymptote. So example is 2x plus 1 over x squared plus 5x plus 9. That means the degree of numerator is 1 and degree of highest degree of the denominator is 2. So there is no slant asymptote. And if the degree of the polynomial in the numerator is more than denominator, then your quotient after long division would be your slant asymptote. So if fx equal to x squared minus 6x plus 7 or x plus 5, if you divide this thing and you get a remainder, remember remainder is important. If there is a remainder and a quotient x minus 11, then your quotient becomes your slant asymptote. So y equal to x minus 11 is your slant asymptote. Remember there should be a remainder over here. If there is no remainder, then there is a perfect division and your fx would be equal to some sort of a polynomial. So there would not be a slant asymptote. If there is a remainder, then only there would be a slant asymptote and the quotient becomes your slant asymptote. So I'll summarize it. Horizontal, three cases. If both degrees are same, divide coefficients. If degree of numerator is less than degree of denominator, y equal to 0 is asymptote. If degree of numerator is more than degree of denominator, there is no asymptote, horizontal asymptote. For vertical, just equate the denominator to 0 and find the value of x. For slant asymptote, if degree of highest degree of numerator is less than denominator, there is no asymptote. If the highest degree of numerator is more than the highest degree of the denominator, perform long division. If there is a remainder, the quotient becomes the slant asymptote, y equal to x minus 11 here. If there is zero remainder, no remainder, there is no slant asymptote. That's it. Thank you very much.